It's a beautiful Victory Monday. Trending in the AM. Overreaction Monday. Victory Monday. All the above. You know why? Because the Philadelphia Eagles went on last night and beat the Washington Commanders 34-31 to go to 4-0 on the season. We're going to break it all down, and we're going to do it live right here on Philadelphia Sports Network in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live, Facebook, YouTube, you know the drill. Hit those like and share and subscribe buttons. It is free to do it. It doesn't cost you a thing to hit like and share, so please do that. Help grow the algorithm. I'm Phil Stiefel, your host of Trending in the AM, the only morning show in Philadelphia where your opinions actually matter. And it is a very big Eagles win type of morning. I'm excited. Drew, good morning. Go Birds. Jake the Make Elliott is the man and the MVP of this team right off the bat there. Good morning, Drew. Hope you're doing well. Good morning to everybody tuning in across all platforms. Victory Monday, fourth week in a row to have a Victory Monday this year. Monday mornings are so much easier to have an extended 90-minute episode when there's a victory on the board right off the bat like this. It's great. It's great. Snuck out of work 2 p.m. German, yeah. Look, it was a great game. It was a great Victory Monday. Go Birds. Can we address the real story of the weekend? I have no idea what the real story of the weekend is. I assumed you meant the Eagles winning, but the Davis Cup? You mean the Ryder Cup? The Ryder Cup was absolutely atrocious for Team USA this week. Wow, Phil, we got to talk. Buffalo looked fantastic yesterday, for sure. I won't deny that. Drew to the Celtics. There was actually a lot of sports stuff happening this weekend. There really was. And the Sixers do have their first practice today. Phillies playoffs start tomorrow. But man, there's so much to dive into on our Eagles and their victory 34-31 over Washington. Ryder Cup. Yep. I got you. I know it's the Ryder Cup. I don't speak Latin, so I don't know what that is. Is the real story is Drew. I don't know about that. I mean, it's a story. And if we had 2 to 3 hours per day, if you guys were helping me out with the likes and the shares and the subscribes and getting the viewership up, I can afford some sponsors and then I could do a 2-hour show, 3-hour show. We could cover all that. But we got to start with the Eagles. What we got here? It's our time. This team will be fine. So all the worry don't make sense to me. But that's just me. I think it's okay to worry a little bit about certain aspects of the team, for sure. And we're going to get into those as time goes on today. But a win's a win. We were all overly confident, but we all forget division rivals are division rivals. Washington and Philly, we were all predicting 30-plus points for the Eagles and like 10, 15 for Washington, 20, 25 points. We had to know that it wasn't going to be like that. Washington's not going to roll over for us. I don't care what happened against Buffalo. There's still a super amount of talent on that team, just a mid quarterback. And we let ourselves, we let Sam Howell, especially early in that game, look elite. We really did. That's the second time in 4 weeks we've made a very below average quarterback, Mac Jones week 1, and now Sam Howell look much better than they were. Good morning, Steven. How you doing? Good win. When does Jake Elliott go status? When does Jake Elliott not take over greatest Eagles kicker of all time over David Akers? But when does he just take over best kicker of all time from Justin Tucker, Steven? I mean, the guy is just Mr. Clutch, Mr. Reliable. And it's almost like the broadcast team was trying to jinx him. He's 7 for 7. He's 9 for 9. He's 11 for whatever the number was that they were saying. Like, the guy doesn't miss ever, in game-winning field goals. Dude, back off with the jinx in there, announcers, They were trying. Are we salty about yesterday's win? I am not salty about yesterday's win. Marshawn. Do I have levels of concern about certain aspects? Yes. But am I salty? No. It was a good win in a division. Yeah, see, I think it's our time as green. Division games are always brutal. Yeah, division games are never cakewalks. They just aren't. Not in the NFC East, at least. Maybe other divisions, but not in our division. Doesn't matter how bad the teams are. I keep warning Phil. Someday you will have to play an AFC team, and Morrow can't do everything. Man, talk about player of the game. Let's just dive right in there to the name drop by TMC there. Nicholas Morrow, man, had himself a ball game yesterday. 3 sacks, which that would never have been on my bingo card. 11 tackles. The guy was all over the field. I mean, I kind of hinted at it already on shows in the past week or so, but man, Nakobe Dean's going to be out for one more week. If Nicholas Morrow goes to LA next week and has another big game, he doesn't have to have 3 sacks. That's really hard for him to, get to that number. But, if he continues to play well, how do you bench him when Nakobe Dean comes back? Like, it sounds insane. It does. But Nicholas Morrow has played his way into a starting role at linebacker. He just has. It's going to be really interesting. He played, I got the snap counts up. He was on the field for 99% of the snaps, 77 to 78 snaps on defense. Like, you can't take him off. You just can't. I got to be honest, that touchdown call for AJ in the fourth was an amazing call. Defense had them on 3rd and 17 and did not get off the field. Yeah, a lot of people aren't fans of them not running the clock out there at the end of the game and just going for a game-winning field goal. When there's points presented like that touchdown pass there, you got to take it. Now, I think the bigger issue isn't the play call. It was A.J. Brown with the taunting. Now, was he really taunting? It was kind of a soft taunting penalty, whatever. But A.J. Brown's got to be smarter than that. That was my issue at the end of the game. Wasn't the play calling there. Because there's plenty of play calling mistakes throughout the entire game. And we're going to spend a lot of time today moaning and groaning about Brian Johnson and Sean Desai. But A.J. Brown, that touchdown pass to him at the end of the game was fine. When you're presented with a touchdown, you hope your defense can hold. That's it. What if you have to play the Dolphins? Well, the Dolphins didn't look too great yesterday. Win is a win, 4-0. Exactly, Nick. 4-0. Go Birds. I mean, there's only 2 undefeated teams left in football, and we're one of them. So that's all you need to know right now. The fact that Jalen Hurts now in regular season is 21-1 in his last 22 games. There's something to it. There's something special there. Jake Elliott, player of the game, OTW to it. Yeah, on the way to all-pro kicker. He's on the way to being the greatest kicker of all time at this point, Mark, officially. Great win. We never gave up, and Jalen Hurts was poised. And, yes, Morrow had a game. He needs more time. Yeah, I mean, Jalen Hurts struggled at the start of the game. And then there's some, interviews with some of the players at halftime. Something clicked on him. He changed his personality a little bit. He came out and played much better in the second half than the first half. There were definitely some tough moments for him in the offense in the first half, without a doubt. Smith has had some of the best contested catches, Peanut, without a shadow of a doubt. The way Devontae Smith goes up in high points of football and the way he catches those difficult passes, man, it's a thing of beauty. Nothing in that catch. I know what play you're thinking about, the deep ball that he jumped up over everybody. 9 times out of 10, most wide receivers can't make that play. That takes extra special type of person to be able to make that play. And doing it at his size, man, it's special. Cunningham played well too. Yeah, Zach Cunningham and Nicholas Morrow had combined 24 tackles yesterday. 13 for Cunningham, 11 for Morrow. They're playing well as a duo. I'm not sure if they can sustain it long term. I don't know. And you got Nakobe Dean coming back in 2 weeks. Next week's his last week on IR. I don't know how you bench Morrow or Cunningham for Nakobe Dean, but at the very least, you're going to have to make it a rotation at first because you just can't take these guys out right now. Now, they might falter when we go up against a tougher opponent like the Bills or the Chiefs. We'll see when that moment comes, but, man, they're playing great right now. Sean Desai had 1.5 good quarters yesterday, the third in overtime. Yeah, Sean Desai was not good. The defense was not good yesterday. But see, here's the thing, and this is my biggest thread for today. I'll just get right into it right now. And that's that, this Eagles team is so over the top talented. They are great at so many positions. The only thing that their biggest weakness is their coordinators. And they're 4-0, the Eagles, and I'm not going to complain. A win's a win. But I kind of feel like the Eagles have won the first 4 weeks of the year despite their coordinators. That the talent just rose to the top even with bad calls. There were bad play calls that were successful yesterday, offensively and defensively. Why? Because the talent outdid the bad decision on the talent's outplaying the coaches. And it's a concern. It's 4 weeks now. It's not week 1 anymore. We're now 4 weeks in, almost a quarter of the way through the season. The coordinators haven't really settled in yet. And I'm really concerned, especially with Brian Johnson on offense, at times with Sean Desai on defense. I will give Sean Desai somewhat of a benefit of a doubt. The fact that he's got no Maddox, the fact that he had 2 safeties at dressed yesterday. I'll give him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt there. Howie Roseman needs to make some additions to the secondary, cornerback and safety, and he has to do it really quickly. I know you love to say that. I know, I know. Tyrone, what's up, my man? You knew linebackers would be a strength. Yeah, who knew? Who knew, right? Who knew Nicholas Morrow, the guy that I said I didn't even want on my practice squad, was going to go out and have a 3-sack game? Like that was not on my bingo card one bit. A lot of super soft penalties. Penalties were brutal yesterday, K1. We had 11. Washington got called for 7. I mean, a lot of brutal and a lot of missed calls. Missed calls on both sides. There was across the NFL, reffing was atrocious yesterday. I'm not going to blame the win or the losses on referees, so to say, but man, when you shouldn't know you shouldn't be talking about the referees, and when you have to, that means they're getting in their own way, and that frustrates the hell out of me. You can't celebrate; it might hurt the other team's feelings. Yeah. The penalty about it on AJ Brown, it was a soft taunting penalty, but it was still technically by the letter of the law, taunting penalty. AJ Brown has to be better than that. He has to know that taunt was softer than our coverage, but 3rd and 17, you have to get off the field, and why not blitz Hal with 1 second left? So I think, are you talking about the second to last play of the fourth quarter there? The play that ran only 3 seconds off the clock that gave them one more chance to score that winning touchdown or tying touchdown? That was atrocious. There's no way a 3-step drop, 10-yard pass over the middle with 4 seconds left on the clock only took 3 seconds off the clock. Or there was 5 seconds on the clock because they moved it from 1 to 2 seconds. That play took 3 seconds. Are you kidding me? No way. Clock operator, you got to get fired today for that one. Officials have a bug up their ass with this Phillies team. Yeah, I mean, they do. Look at the tush push early. We all know what play I'm going to talk about on the tush push. And yes, it's still the tush push to me. Until it gets some respect, it's going to be the tush push to me. They called us for Landon Dickerson for being offside. And practice of 5 yards, had a punt. When clearly the Washington defenders had their hands under the ball, their helmets over top of Kelsey's helmet, but we're only going to call it on the Eagles. And then all Washington, the last tush push on 4th and 1 on the game-winning drive, Washington fans are complaining because Dickerson, left the line a little early. Yeah. But all the Washington defenders were all in the neutral zone as well. Like, they're going to do everything they can because officials, leagues, they don't want Philadelphia to succeed. They don't want Jalen Hurts to become the face of the league. They just don't. If no concerns, I certainly am not going to rain on parade. Morrow and Cunningham are greater than absolutely, Marshawn. You're speaking my language. Well, they were yesterday. Now, Zach Cunningham has been playing solid all season long for 4 full weeks. Morrow came in. He's only had a couple games. But Cunningham's good. He's playing really well. Now, I don't know how Edwards and Kazir White are doing. I know Kazir White had, obviously, the big interception of Dak Prescott for the Cardinals. But outside of that, I'm not keeping up on these guys. I know Chicago sucks. That's all I know. Holding call on Slay. Offsides on Dickerson. Horrible call. I have to be honest. It looked like McLaurin was in bounds. Nah, I think I saw it right from the get go that he was out. I think he was out. I think it was a hair, but I think it was out without a doubt in my mind. Terry McLaurin, he ate us alive early in the game. And then I was about to tweet out sometime late 3rd quarter, early 4th quarter, man, we really held him in check after a big start on the first drive or two. and then he went off in the fourth quarter in overtime and had a couple more catches. Terry McLaurin is so good. That one deep ball catch he had, I said it last week when we were previewing or discussing the start of the game because we can't preview the game. That McLaurin is one of the most underrated wide receivers in football, and he is a top 10 quality receiver and doesn't get the respect he deserves. That quarterback had more lives than a cat. How many sacks? I said it last night on Twitter. Um, the Eagles lead the league in almost sacks this year, without a doubt. Like they just seem to not be able to. They get pressure, they just don't get home. It's kind of crazy. Keep firing through here. I mean, it took some time for Steichen and Hurts to really good. Not making excuses because Jalen just starting to get going. Yeah, I mean, we got to talk about Jalen Hurts today. We do. Um, I kind of have to think back on Steichen. How long did it really take? Steichen wasn't calling the plays at first in 2021. 2021 really turned around when Steichen took over play calling from Nick Sirianni, week 6, 7, whatever it was. So I think there's differences. There's similarities, but there's differences there, in my opinion. Eagles have what most teams do not: talent, heart, and culture. Absolutely. And even with some bad play calling here and there and some bad luck with the refs, talent wins out. Now, if you go out there and play the game you played yesterday against Buffalo or Kansas City, you're not winning. You're just not. So they got to still clean up a lot of stuff. Chiefs and Jets referees were hard as well. I didn't stay up for the whole game. The part of the game I watched was bad. I saw some clips of some bad referees that they calls at the end of the game this morning. Marshawn, refs just can't stop them, help themselves. They just can't. I will say I'll give that chick that took the hit from Jalen Hurts on the sideline some credit for popping up yesterday. She took a big hit. 3 sacks from the off-ball linebacker doesn't necessarily mean he has a good game. Commanders just didn't block him. It wasn't just the sacks. He was making a lot of tackles. Did not miss any tackles that I saw. The three and are we just going to say just because he had 3 sacks that doesn't mean having 3 sacks means you had a good game? It doesn't mean he had a great game, but it means you had a good game. You're trying to discount 3 sacks from a guy that was on the practice squad 3 weeks ago. Hurts told AJ about the penalty. AJ said he has to do better. Yeah, he has to do better. Um, Sure, ticky tack call, but still got to be better. Still got to be better in a close game like that. Discipline now leads to better discipline down the line. What's point of sports if you can't say in your face? I know, in your face. I mean that's it's the participation trophy era, man. Chatter. I hate the participation trophy. No, I refuse for some reason to call it the brotherly shove. I don't know why. I like the tush push until it gets respect, and it should get respect because I saw at least 3 instances around the NFL yesterday where other teams tried to run the tush push and failed miserably at it. It's just that the Eagles have perfected it, and the Eagles have a quarterback that can squat a house. He can squat all the row homes in Clifton Heights, in Westbrook Park. He can squat everything. That's why. And yet the league wants to still outlaw it because only the Eagles are successful at it. It's ridiculous. Go Birds, EC1. How you doing? Again, guys, you're watching Trend the Game. We got a lot of people coming in and out. We got 12 likes on YouTube, 5 on Facebook. Make sure you hit that like button. Likes equal views. Likes help the algorithm. It's free to do it. It's free to hit the share button. Free to hit the subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. It looked like Swift was not on the field much in the second half, or was it just me? Marshawn, well, I got snap counts up. I'm surprised on the disparity. So Swift last week it was really close. Swift and Gainwell in snap counts. This week was not. There were 71 offensive plays. DeAndre Swift was on the field for 45 of them, 63%. Gainwell was only on the field for 27, for 38%. There was a big difference there. It was quite bigger than I thought it was. Because I kind of like you felt like he wasn't. He just wasn't as effective yesterday. The offensive line did not have a great game yesterday. How is the hands of the defender under the ball not a penalty? Yeah, Steven. I mean, because the NFL told those refs to make sure you watch out for that tush push and do whatever you can to render it meaningless. Commanders fan checking in. McLaurin foot was in. It's cool. You cheated. It was out. Definitely out. By a hair, but it was. Come on. I mean, I just gave McLaurin a lot of love for being a great wide receiver. You don't got to call names. It's okay. I get it. You're grumpy. You're upset. Your team lost. It's not a happy victory Monday for Washington fans. It is for Eagles fans. In the last 2 games, Morrow had 1 tackle for loss that resulted in a safety and 3 sacks. Dean has to sit. I mean, you've got an argument to be made. Now, Nakobe Dean is the investment for the future. Nicholas Morrow is not. So you got to think about big picture as well. But I mean, there's an argument to be made here. I mean, there is a very, very strong chance Nicholas Morrow wins Defensive Player of the Week in the NFL this week. That's how big of a game he had. A lot of flags on critical downs in favor of Washington. There were bad flags on both sides. I'll give it to Washington. Washington can complain about bad calls too. I'm not gonna say it was only one way. There were 18 accepted penalties yesterday between both teams. That doesn't count the declined penalties. 18 penalties. That's not good. Not good at all. Rate your D line. Our D line played great again. Jalen Carter is a beast. Jordan Davis had a little bit lower of a snap count yesterday, but still played well. Fletcher Cox. Can we talk about Fletcher Cox rejuvenation? It must be hanging out with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis has turned Fletcher Cox into a 25-year-old man again. The guy is unstoppable again. And he played a freaking shit ton yesterday. Pardon my French. Fletcher Cox was on the field for 74% of the snaps yesterday. I don't like that. That's borderline wearing that kid out, by the end of the season. McLaurin always kills us. He was out of bounds. I don't think stepping on Blankenship's arm it does not. See, that's the thing. It's just a detail in the rule there. And McLaurin is just great. There's no doubt about it. On the brotherly shove, the defense is having player jump over to take cheap shots on Hurts. I say we have Jordan Davis play fullback and crack one. Sure. Or Jordan Mailata. Go for it. Go for it. Refs helped you. The refs were bad. I've said it 100 times. Both sides of the football, both teams, and across the NFL yesterday. There's an account on Twitter that tracks the accuracy rate of umpires in baseball. Is there one that does that on Twitter as well? Because I would love that. And I would love to see the accuracy thought process on the refs in the NFL as a whole this weekend. It was not good. They need to go back to school for sure. Rams coming up. Yeah, I mean the Rams are going to be a tough matchup. That was a catch. He was in. He was out. Sorry, man. The rules say he was out there, man. But Hal is not better than you. You Commanders fans are insane. You guys love your Sam Howell played a hell of a game yesterday. If you give him, you give him time, and he had time to find receivers when we weren't getting pressure. He did, and he ran like freaking Michael Vick a couple times yesterday. But somehow is not better than Jalen Hurts, man. Not at all. Sorry. Jalen Hurts had a game. He's a winner. You give me a winner every time out. Absolutely. Jalen Hurts. 21-1 in 22 games in the regular season. I mean, that says something. First test October 22nd. Dolphins. Yeah, it's gonna be a test. The Rams are gonna be a test. The Rams aren't a bad team, and Cooper Kupp will be back soon. And our secondary sucks. Matthew Stafford will, if he's given time, Matthew Stafford will find any wide receiver with our secondary as it currently stands. Everyone. I see comments down here from Mister. I'll get you in a second. I agree. Look at him, emotional. Yeah, I mean it's okay to be emotional. It's overreaction Monday. Washington has a reason to be upset. They had a game in their hands and they let it slip away. Nothing we could do about that. Paddle boat Ron not going for 2. Dude, I won't lie. And if you're still watching Commanders fan 1, I love to know what Commanders fans thought. I thought as an Eagles fan, before that touchdown at the end of the game was scored to tie it up, that I'm like, Riverboat Ron is going for 2. I had zero doubt. I'm like, if they score, Ron's going for 2 and going to try to win the game right here in regulation. I had zero. Our defense was sucking wind. Our defense was on its heels on that last drive. Ron Rivera should have taken that chance. I really, truly believe it. I really thought it was going to happen. And I would love to know what Washington fans think of that situation because I was all prepared for that moment to happen right there. Every team is targeting Job. And this is the comment I wanted to get to. I mean, Job, he's not playing well. He was pushed off on the one touchdown, a call not going our way there. It would have been a ticky-tack push off in the end zone, but he was pushed off on. You saw the wide receiver's arms extend, and that's normally the sign you call a foul. They did not call it, fine, but no consistency from what the refs were or weren't calling. Yeah, so you don't call the ticky-tack push off in the end zone on Job, but you call the ticky-tack taunting penalty. I mean, you gotta have consistency. Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills, 49ers. Need to tighten up. Look, Cowboys, I'm not buying in the Cowboys because they won big yesterday. I'm not. They lost to the Cardinals. That still has not gotten over. I'm not over that. Commanders fan trying to justify his team, but they're mid at best. Yeah, I mean, look, Ray, I'm not here to bash anybody. I don't bash anybody. My tagline is everybody's opinion matters. So it does. Um, Washington gave us a damn good fight, and we were Riverboat Ron going for two away from losing that game. So today's conversation would be so much different if we did not pull out that win last night. So much different, Ray. Comrades fans complain about the ref. Yo, I can remember a few points where I'm like, I can't believe the Eagles didn't get called for fouls there. There was some. It was a bad game for the referees. Across the board. AJ got popped with yeah, exactly. AJ Brown goes for 300 yards in 2 games, couple touchdowns, and he instantly gets drug tested by the NFL after the game, waiting at his locker before he's even undressed. Yep, got to go pee in a cup. I mean, that's something right there, isn't it? Don't feel bad. Said to Colin the tush pushers. Like, I love it. It's the tush push. Commanders fan. Look, I'm an open book here. Any fan from any team can watch this show. I mean, man, Chatter, you're a Bills fan and you watch this show all the time. Yeah, cope. um, at least we can spell our team name. At least we know our team name's not changing 47 times over 48 years. If Dean continues to be injured, his stay on Philadelphia will be short. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a big conversation point this week that Nicholas Morrow, if he has one more game against the Rams, might need to be the starter. I love Dean, but man, yeah, this is a great point. I know I said he was the investment of the future, but the real investment is the Super Bowl. Marshawn, that's a kick ass point right there. I greatly appreciate you saying that right there. That's the real important thing. Morrow is a 5-year veteran with a lot of NFL starts. Not surprised he put up some numbers. I was. He looked terrible in my opinion in preseason and training camp. Got a lot of people. We pushed 30 views already at one point live. Make sure you hit that like button. We're at 15 likes on YouTube, 5 on Facebook. Likes help the algorithm. I greatly appreciate it. Keep the comments coming. I can't even get caught up. Spell your team name right. um, Best decision Bills made was to get rid of our 100 million middle linebacker Tremaine Edmonds and play the nobody Bernard who wins defensive player of the week. Yeah, the Bears, dude. I couldn't believe I put the Bears losing yesterday. I actually take full credit for because when they were up 27-3 or 28-3 or whatever it was, I put out a tweet. The Bears stink, but at least they're not the Broncos. And then all of a sudden, the Broncos came right back. Check the time. Check the timeline of when I sent out that tweet and how quickly that turned. I take full responsibility for the Bears' loss yesterday. A Commanders fan, keep it up. And now, come on, it's okay. I'm okay with it. Terrell Edmonds has to come up with that. Terrell Edmonds did not have a good game yesterday. The lack of safeties on this team, it's a big deal. Howie Roseman, look, and this is exactly what I feared. Now now the league knows Howie Roseman needs a safety. Really needs a safety. So when he calls and asks for Jeremy Chin, or if he calls and asks for Buda Baker, the price just went up. So, but they need to bring somebody in here. Justin Evans is not a healthy guy. He gets hurt all the time. He's injured right now. Sidney Brown, hamstrings, they tend to linger. So you need to get some. You need somebody at the slot too, because Josh Joby, you can't play Bradbury in the slot and have Josh Joby on the outside. You just can't do it. You got to get a cornerback for the slot, and you've got to get a safety. And I have faith in Howie Roseman to do it, but he needs to do it now, before we get to. You don't go 3 days before the Dolphins game and bring in one of these guys. You get him now, so he's got 2 weeks to get adjusted to the team. So when we get to the big time games, they're ready to go. Even Sirianni said he likes the name Brotherly Shove. I don't care what Nick Sirianni said. Everybody's opinion matters, but it's the tush push. It's always going to be the tush push for me. Sir Amp Gannon was terrible. We need to clean it up. Sam Howell is Scotty Scheffler. We have been getting tested every week. We will get everybody's best every week. Yeah, Marshawn. There's that mark on our back. We know it. We know it. What good? Can't comment on the game at all as I didn't see any of it due to it taking an age to get home from. Oh my God! You went to the Falcons Jag game. What a trooper! What a trooper! I greatly sorry I'm late. Did we already? I just started crapping on Terrell Edmonds, actually. This is a good timing for you, because that was just what I just brought up. McLaurin ending up one-on-one against our safety Blankenship in overtime on that sideline throw was bad coaching. Yeah. Eric Bieniemy is gonna be the head coach of the Washington Commanders, before the season's over. Just gonna say it now, for sure. Just getting the yeah, we're just getting to them. What's up, Tyrone? We need Brown playing slot defender and have Bradbury back on the boundary. Yeah, I mean, Sidney Brown, you want him playing slot? Isn't he a safety more so? I don't know. We need somebody. We need help. We need a lot of help in that secondary. If you beat Bills and you do not say in your face to me, I will be so disappointed. And if you guys beat us, you better say in your face on on your victory Monday. It's fine. I get it. Cowboys fans are sad people. One YouTuber was saying, put respect on Dak's name because he did not struggle against the Pats defense while Hurts and Tua did. Dude, they got beat for the Commanders or by the Cardinals. So whatever any Cowboys fan says is a moot point. It doesn't matter. Like literally means nothing to me, without a doubt. So Slay PI wasn't cheating. The PI on Bradbury. How about the O line, the quarterback sneak where the defender's head? Yeah, I mean, look, it was inconsistent, man. There's nothing we could say that doesn't that'll change the fact that it was inconsistent on both sides for both teams. It was a bad ref game. That's my point. Unless some miracle of Lumen win, the Eagles will walk into Super Bowl. Need to be ready. Look, 49ers are a damn good football team still. Another win. Look, we put all. I started this conversation end of last week. We put a lot of respect on Jalen Hurts' now 21-1 regular season record over the last 22 games. Brock Purdy hasn't lost in the regular season. And his only career loss was the game against the Eagles in the playoffs where he got hurt the first 3 seconds of the game. So we got to put respect on the 49ers. They're a damn good team. They're a tough team, a team we're going to struggle. Christian McCaffrey is going to eat our defense alive if it plays the way it does now. Just saying. So we need to be better. We need to get better. We need to add to this team because it's not a cakewalk. We're favored, but it's not a cakewalk. If we get Jeremy Chin or Buddha, would Desai know how to use them? I don't know. Look, I had question marks, not just on Brian Johnson, on Sean Desai, because Sean Desai's 1 year as a defensive coordinator was a very, very bad result in Chicago in 2021. Now, the team was a disaster, but it was bad. And everybody hated Jonathan Gannon and how soft his defense was, but it was a pretty damn good defense, statistically speaking. We just didn't like it. And I warned everybody. Sean Desai is a Vic Fangio disciple. Vic Fangio is the most conservative defensive coordinator in NFL history, probably. So Sean Desai got the height over Brian Johnson, but man, it didn't. He's. I'm not high on the job the two coordinators are doing. Hell, our special teams coordinator is doing better. Michael Clay or whatever his name is doing better than Sean Desai and Brian Johnson at this point. I mean, it helps to have Jake Elliott and Britton Covey, but Gainwell can't be number 2 running back. Gainwell, I mean, he played okay yesterday. He had moments. It is what it is. The Gainwell Swift combo is what it's going to be. Every week it's going to be different. They're like almost impossible to play in fantasy football because you never know which guy is going to get the reps. You just don't. We need to get Joby off the field. Yeah, Joby got targeted a lot. Again, I will say he did get pushed off on slightly on that touchdown at the end of the game. Wasn't called. I'm okay with that if they don't call the taunting penalty, but they did, so they should have. Buda Baker's already on IR. Yeah, but he's only on short-term IR, which means he comes. That's a 4-week stint. And I'm not saying I want Buda Baker, K1. I'm just saying we need help, and we don't need depth help. We need a real player that could step in and start immediately. Buda Baker's the popular name. Panthers have lots of safeties. Jeremy Chin, easy for a third. I don't know if we got to offer a third-round pick for Jeremy Chin, but we've got plenty of draft capital over the next couple years, and the Panthers are trying to rebuild. He wouldn't be worse than what we got. That's for sure. Hey, the Phillies won 90 games, and we have an 8 p.m. slot Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on ESPN. I hate that the Phillies got 8 p.m. games, Mark. That's going to throw my sleep schedule off all week. I will be very tired on every show this week because I got a golf outing today, and then we got Phillies games Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Shout out to everybody. Just so you know, if anybody's in the Westchester area, I'll be at the Barnaby's of Westchester tonight, 5:30. There's a great charity, all you can eat, all you can drink event, baskets raffling off, door prizes, etc. Maybe come out. It supports a great charity. So Barnaby's of Westchester, about 5:30 tonight. There's a golf outing. As soon as we're done here, we're leaving for the golf course, and then after golf, then we go to Barnaby's for the dinner. So if anybody's near Westchester tonight, come on out and say hi to me. We'll talk Eagles football. Barnaby's of Westchester for a great cause tonight, guys. Um, Sean Gannon, call him Sean Anthon. Okay, I get what you're doing. You're blending their names together. All right, it doesn't roll off the tongue as well as you'd like. Got to come up with a better combo there. Edmonds did not have a good game, no, and it's not just the big drop. I mean, he had a bad game overall, plain and simple. He really did. And look, he was one of those guys that was a roster bubble for me, like Rashad Penny was. So they were. I really think they were hoping that he did not need to be used as much. But Sidney Brown and Justin Evans being hurt, it's a problem. Maybe Howie made a mistake getting rid of Kayvon Wallace. He's out there making plays for the Cardinals. Justin Evans had a major injury history in his career, and they went with him, and now he's hurt. And a neck injury is always a problem. You just never know. We're trying Shaunathon Gannon. That actually with the W in there, it looks a little bit better. It rolls a little bit better there. Jedi number one. I've been telling Eagles fans that these Eagles are going to get in the tough spots with these up and coming teams. Absolutely. Look, we've got a target on our back. We're going to be in tough spots all year long. And everybody keeps saying, give them time, give them time, give them time. We're working out the kinks with these new coordinators. But we're 4 games in now of a 17-game season, basically a quarter of the way through. It's time to realize we are what we are now. We need some adjustments to be made. And I'm telling you, these coordinators got to be better, and Howie needs to improve this team. Or we are going to not make it to the promised land, back to the Super Bowl again. That's just the way it is. Cowboys fans have low self-esteem. I love Cowboys fans. I do. They are so passionate and blinded. But so are we to an extent. It was one-sided. EC1, I saw what you were trying to do there. What was EC's last post? Yeah, we say it. We say it. We say it. It's good. Win equals win. 4-0. There's 2 teams in the NFL that are 4-0. Even the unstoppable 70-point Dolphins got a loss now. So let me tell you something. A win is a win, and 4-0 is 4-0. That's all that matters. But that doesn't mean that there can't be room to get better, and it doesn't mean that there's not work that needs to be done to get better, and that is. Rex Ryan should be our. Oh man, I don't know about that, Marshawn. I don't know. I kind of feel like the Ryan family as a whole. No offense, Buddy. I love Buddy Waters, their cousin. He's been on my show before on previous networks. He runs a great talent agency for athletes. I've had some of his agents on this show before. Coach Dale Carlson and Gabe Martinez. But I don't know about the Ryans in football anymore. I think their time and their ship has sailed. Marshawn, Judlin. Yeah, exactly. Let's keep quick comments here. Jim Shorts was loath too. Peeps want blitz every down. Yeah, I mean, look, the way the NFL, I mean, the way these teams are built, you don't see many teams that actually. I don't remember the exact stats, but I remember doing this conversation in the offseason that somebody put up the stats that the teams that blitzed the most percentage wise last year did not make the playoffs. So as long as you have a great front 4 or 5 getting after the quarterback, you're set. Then your secondary can drop 5 or 6 in the coverage. You're good, but it doesn't. It's still still putting the guys in the right places, calling the blitzes at the right time, making adjustments when one guy's getting beat nonstop. They're the problem. You don't have to blitz 80% of the time like Jim Johnson used to do in the late '90s, but you got to know when to do it right time. And you guys got to look. The defensive line is playing fantastic, and they had 5 sacks yesterday. But they got to get home more often. They really do. Fangio's defensive 3 is not impressive. Yeah. Where did Fangio end up this year? I know he ended up somewhere. I know he was the Eagles' target, and he ended up somewhere else. But he's not anything spectacular. I hope Ringo gets more time. Ringo and Ricks, they did not see the field at all yesterday. At all. Josh Toby was getting beat up, eaten alive. And those 2 guys did not see the field at all. Only 5 guys from the secondary saw the field. Your 2 safeties and the 3 cornerbacks. They did not try one other thing yesterday. Joe B. Did I say it wrong? It's Joe B. Joe B. Gainwell, trash. Rather have Scott. K1 might come after you. See one. Have Scott. He fumbled, almost cost. Scott didn't see the field yesterday as well. I don't think. It's unbelievable that people are so spoiled. We freaking won the game. Now that we have seen how, we'll be better next game. Yeah, we play him again in 4 weeks, um, for sure. But Sam Howell was performed better than he actually is yesterday. That's how I'll phrase it. Rather have a Lovey Smith. Is Lovey Smith working anywhere right now? I don't know. Lovey Smith is a very good defensive mind. Uh, Lovey would be great. Yeah, I mean, we're almost caught up here. Fangio is Miami. Okay. Man, how did Miami look yesterday? That defense gave up, what, 4 touchdowns to Stephon Diggs alone yesterday? Um, so look, we covered some of the things on my notes. We're 8:40. We're 40 minutes into this 90-minute episode. We got 17 likes now on YouTube, 6 on Facebook. Pound that like and share button. Keep the comments coming. I wanted to get caught up on the comments here. But, let's talk a little Jalen Hurts. I got some things we've covered on my list, some things that we haven't. Um, but I want to talk a little Jalen Hurts about yesterday. His second half was much better than the first half, without a doubt. Um, but what is up with Jalen Hurts' running? Jalen Hurts when I know he had to take away that one big 20-yard scamper that he had. And does he not want to run? Does he not have the same burst when the initial burst when he's running? Is he hurt? I saw somebody respond to me on Twitter saying that maybe he thinks he hurt himself in the New England game and he's just been hiding it since then. Jalen Hurts looks like the most unconfident runner on RPOs, and when he's got and quarterback draws and quarterback sneaks outside of the tush push. There is something severely off with Jalen Hurts' running, especially early in the game, and I can't put my finger on it. And it's like I talked about all offseason wanting Jalen Hurts to run less. He's not running that much less. He's just not getting as many yards as he used to, and I can't put my finger on it. Like I don't want if he's going to run, I want him to do it effectively. Like you can't take away his that's what makes him running is what opens up the downfield passes. But he doesn't do it well. And it looks awkward. Like the main point is every time he runs out and falls to the ground for a 2-yard gain or a 1-yard gain, it looks awkward. And it's really weird. And I can't put my finger on the why. It really is. Can Joel ask for a trade during the meet? Dude, we'll get to Joel Embiid maybe later in this show. But the Sixers are a terrible situation right now. Are we sure he hasn't been told not to run? Exactly. I don't know. I don't. But there's got to be. And the same thing is, if he was told not to run, why are they calling so many runs? They're still putting him in the position to be hit. And he's just, instead of taking that extra, trying to juke a guy one extra time, he's just falling down for 2 yards. If that's what it is, then you might as well just not run him at all. Just not call those plays because it looks really awkward. What is up? How we doing, Billy the Kid? It's a happy victory Monday for our Eagles. Start of football season or basketball camp today. We got lots of great stuff going on today. Lots. But we're trying to figure this out here. No one wants to see Mariota out there. I get it. But then the thing is, it's not like the plays aren't being run. They're still being run. And he's just, if you're going to run a play that's a guaranteed only 2 yards a play, why run it then? Just give the ball to Swift or Gainwell again. Like, that's it. That's the problem. If they don't want to see him get hurt, they want to protect him. Well, then just don't call the plays. He's out there on an island getting hit by 1 or 2 guys for 2-yard runs on design plays like that far too often. Again, I agree. It could be the injury problem. That they're scared of getting him hurt. Or he might already be hurt. Phil, the boss stopped by the office. He wants to talk. Well, he can talk. He can jump in under the comments. Tell him. Hit subscribe. We're up to 20 likes now. He can hit the like button and the subscribe button. The defense are keeping a spy on him every passing down. With a spy that should take a man out of coverage and make the passing game work better. Yeah, but he keeps taking these 2-yard little carries, getting hit by 2 guys. I counted 4 times yesterday. He got hit by 2 guys and gain no more than 2 yards. I'm fine protecting him. I don't want to take it away from him, but I'm fine protecting him. Even in the pocket, he doesn't move around as well as he used to. Um, the defenses are definitely different. The defense has had a whole entire offseason to study last year's 19 games, 20 games we played, and what made Jalen Hurts effective. And they are finding ways to stop him. But it's like he's not even trying. And I'm not blaming Jalen Hurts for anything. I'm asking, is there something wrong? Is there a disconnect? Is somebody saying protect Jalen Hurts? Let's not let you get hurt. And then Brian Johnson is still calling the plays anyway. And then maybe that means there's a communication issue there. Something is off in the circle here with the Jalen Hurts running plays, not the tush push, not the 20-yard scamper he had, but the regular runs that normally get 5, 7, 8 yards are getting 2 and getting them crushed. Those Hurts scheduled run look horrible. They look horrible. They look awkward. Like that nobody knows what to do or no one knows what's supposed to happen. Those awkward moments are just weird. And that's how he's going to get hurt. He's going to get hurt on the awkwardness of one of those plays, not the tush push. Don't tread on Phil. Yeah, no. Never. Yeah, he's fired already, which is good. And he can comment more. Exactly. They're spine. Yes, he can't climb the pocket and run up the middle for a big game. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the designed runs. The runs that either he doesn't want to run, he's told not to take a hit on, but are still being called. And that's the problem. I think part of the problem is that either by design or by quarterback focus, Hurts is focused on Brown and doesn't see other receivers. Yeah, I thought that last week, Duck, for sure, that he seemed to be targeting in on AJ Brown too much. I didn't think he forced anything this past week to AJ Brown. I think he did a really good job of, I only counted 1 or 2 times on replays of plays that I saw open receivers that he missed that he should have hit instead. But AJ Brown was just a beast and dominant and had a great matchup yesterday. So I don't think it was as forced yesterday, but over the course of the year, I have seen it as a whole. I don't think he has had too many design runs, and the ones I've seen are strategical. I think there's more design runs than you think. 4 or 5 of them yesterday that just did not gain anything. My gripe is with how the secondary is being coached. Yeah, I mean, we spent a lot of time on the secondary and the defense already, Carter Joe. If Howie is not on the phone right now, Howie should have been on the phone at halftime yesterday, calling teams. Like, yo, who do you got? Can you send like a mass email out to all the GMs of all the teams at once? It should have been like copy and paste all. I need safety and secondary help. Somebody make me an offer. Like, seriously. What's Cobra coverage? I'm not a technical coaching wizard, so I don't know what some of the terms mean. I think he has to run outside more, tends to go up, goes out of bounds instead of fighting for yards, which you want your quarterback to do. You also want him to protect himself. I get it. I just look. It just seems awkward. It seems not. It seems disjointed. It seems like there's a communication issue on what's going on. We need safeties more than I need to get to the golf course today. Totally. It seems like we're missing Steichen. Honestly, Philly the kid, you're not wrong here. Not wrong at all. It definitely seems like the loss of Shane Steichen could be an issue. And Brian Johnson, too much was made of Brian Johnson and his personal connection to Jalen Hurts this offseason. And that was just going to make everything work like a snap of a finger. But it's not. But yet, on the flip side, we're still 4-0. So we've been learning on the go here, but we're still winning. Now, you're going to have to get – we're 4-0. We still haven't had a perfect game yet. We still haven't played a complete game yet. But where every week goes by, we're getting to harder and harder parts of the schedule. Next week, L.A. They're going to be tough. L.A. is not a great team, but they're not a bad team. If our secondary plays like it did on Sunday and let Sam Howell look like Tom Brady at times, what do you think they're going to let Super Bowl winning quarterback Matthew Stafford look like next week? So the secondary's got to be better. The offense has to be better. Then you got Dolphins, and then you got the Jets. The Jets, we'll see. But, the tough part, it's just going to get harder. So Lots has to be fixed there. So what do we need to do about Joby? Excuse me. Just mentioning Joby's name again just made me choke on my own breath. We need to bring in another cornerback. You kept sliding Joby outside and Bradbury in the slot, and so you're making one position. So this is something that really annoys me, Duck. And this happens in all sports. Um, you have an injury, so you move somebody that's a great player at their position to fill that spot, and by doing so, you make that spot worse. So, like, you don't really help yourself. So Bradbury is one of the top outside corners in football. You moved him to the slot. So and he so you got an outside guy playing inside, and then you got still nobody playing the outside. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I hate when they fix the hole. Don't fix the hole by making another hole. And by fixing the slot hole, they made an outside hole that Joby's getting destroyed in. The awkward runs are not scheduled runs. They call design runs when they anticipate having a numbers advantage that didn't pan out. All right, well, they're the RPO runs, the runs that he pulls back and goes to the outside. It's just not smooth. Last year it was much smoother. They're probably telling him not to fight for extra yards. Don't need him. Then he should just stay in the pocket and try to throw the ball. Then that's it. I don't need 2nd and 8, 3rd and 8 because he had a 2-yard run, took a hard hit because he didn't. He's still taking hard hits. It's clear that offensive play calling has steered away from Hurts running and/or has been instructed to slide, give himself. It's not even the slide because I don't think I've seen him slide much. He just gives himself up, and he does it like he almost like sits down, like he runs. He's going to stop. He's like, and he just plops on his butt, but he leaves his whole upper body exposed to get hit. So Cobra coverage is the newer term for the picket defense without being lined up and more of a curve, but still requires to play off by cornerbacks. Why do our cornerbacks play off all the time? Does nobody in Philadelphia ever, since Jim Schwartz, we've been playing this sticks level defense, and I hate it. Do we not know how to call a press coverage on defense? You got third. There was a play in the second half last week. Maybe it was on the final drive that Washington tied it up on. It was 3rd and 6, and all our cornerbacks were playing beyond the first down line of scrimmage. Like on 3rd and 6, you need to be your cornerbacks have to be on the other side, on the good side of the first down markers, not on the back side of it. There's a problem with the coverage. So about to put up 120 on the links today for charity, of course. No, it's a best ball. It's a best ball. I'm going to shoot under par today, Mark, because it's best ball. And if you don't know what best ball is, Mark, it means all 4 of us tee off and we all get to move our ball to the best spot. We just get 1 score per hole, and we all hit every shot from the best spot. And I got a ringer. My buddy Brian, he's my roommate from college. He's my ringer in the group. Not me, it's my wife, myself, my brother, and my buddy Brian from college. He's my ringer. So we'll shoot a couple under par today. He texted me. He thinks we're going to shoot 7 under par today. I told him, nah, not going to happen. Brian Johnson is still getting his feet under him. You can see him slowly putting his fingerprint on the offense. Yeah, I just hope he gets it figured out quicker. I mean, it's going to get harder and harder and harder. So the schedule wise, boss told me to look it up. Something to do with work. Oh, okay. Stop. Different doesn't mean worse. It's like an X. Some things you miss, but that's from what we've been used to. But over time, you get used to it. What's the new? What's new? I get it. I get it. I get what you're trying to say, Tyrone. I do. I understand it. I'm just not. Look. We beat Washington. We beat the Patriots. We beat the Vikings. We beat the Bucks. Good, okay to good teams. The way we played those 4 games, we're not beating the Chiefs, Bills, maybe not even the Cowboys with those performances. Cowboys, maybe. We still got to be better. And it's okay to be excited and happy that we're 4-0 and it's a victory Monday. But it's also okay to say, while we won, that there are things still wrong with this team. I'm not mad. I'm never mad. You're not mad either. Dude, A.J. Brown slant routes. A.J. Brown played like a man, like a grown-ass man. Like, he got the Tony penalty. It was ticky-tack, but he should know better. But A.J. Brown played like and Devontae Smith. I mean, like, where all the hype is going to go to A.J. Brown's great game yesterday, and all the talk is going to go towards the penalty. But man, Devontae Smith on that one deep ball when he pointed it and made that spectacular catch, getting up 60 feet in the air. It's going to go under the radar because, man, but it was such a great catch. Such an amazing catch from such an amazing wide receiver. And Devontae Smith does that so well. What we got here? I don't get it. From what I hear, Joby and Slay are man corners. They don't trust. Yeah, look, I don't know what it is. Um, Slay's played off a lot in his tenure in Philly, and he's still really good. I'm glad Slay only missed one play. He took that. I guess it was just a stinger. Came off the field. I'm like, oh man. Tell me if you're an Eagles fan that you didn't see Slay on that tackle and limp off the field. And it almost looked like his shoulder was dangling a little bit. I'm like, oh no, he hurt his shoulder. Oh, he dislocated his shoulder. I'm like, this is going to be awful. But yet he only missed one play and he came right back in after that. So we dodged a bullet there. I do want to bring up another injury from yesterday, and that was Cam Jurgens. Hold on, man. We get crushed against good quarterbacks. Cam Jurgens went out. We don't besmirch Mr. Moschitelli about Gov. No, I'm not shooting a 120. I'm not besmirching you. I'm just correcting you. Cam Jurgens went down in the game. Sue Opeta came in. He had one or two bad plays for sure. But for the most part, Sue Opeta played okay yesterday. But Cam Jurgens going down, and he was reported. So he had the hamstring issue in practice, and this is a foot thing. And reports are that he left the locker room in a boot, which is not good because you got to keep the offensive line healthy. And Cam Jurgens has played actually really damn well at right guard, position he hasn't played before. And I've been so pleased with Reed Blankenship. Or I see Reed Blankenship's name in the comments. I'm saying him, Cam Jurgens. And I really hope that he's okay and that it's a short-term issue. And while Opeta played okay yesterday, I don't know if I want to see Opeta out there all the time. And if Cam Jurgens can't go on Sunday, is that the opportunity for Tyler Steen to step in and get his first start at right guard? Or do you go with Opeta? Because you are going to go up the Rams and Aaron Donald and company. It'd be really interesting to see what they do at right guard if Cam Jurgens is going to miss an extended time based off of the opponent and matchup next week. It took Steichen most of a season to get it. You can't expect Johnson too much different. I can expect it. I'm just not going to get it. Do you do who lot of love golf showing my Fairway to Heaven golf show? It's kind of like the golf off season right now. I might do a show next week. There's a tournament this week, but I'm not going to have time to do a show tomorrow. But I'm going to get back into some shows during the off season tournaments, and then January, once the tournament champion rolls around the first week of January, we'll be right back at it every week. Good to very good defense. Yes, you are beating the Chiefs. It's pretty clear they took a step back based on look the Chiefs Rams game. I didn't stay up for the whole thing, but yeah, it didn't go as people thought it would. The Jets D is really, really good. Jets D is very, very good, actually. Yes, there's no doubt about that. We played good to very good defense. My concern is against better offense. Yeah, I mean, we played good, but Washington's defense or offense isn't that good. We held their running backs in check. And honestly, we held Terry McLaurin in check 2 of the 4 quarters. It was just the beginning and end of the game where he got going. That is where the injuries will really kill us. The offensive line, yeah. Desai has never played football. He has a bunch of college degrees, though. Hard to call plays when he can't relate to what the players. I don't know how I feel about it. There's a lot of coaches that don't play pro ball. Maybe they play in high school or something like that, but I don't know. I don't know on that part of it right there. We have a number 1 running back, and they need to treat him like it. Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't have too much of an issue with the usage distribution yesterday. We weren't running the ball effectively yesterday, no matter who was out there. What I have an issue with is the play calling to an extent. You had a 3rd and 11 in the red zone, and you ran the ball with Kenneth Gainwell. Again, it seems like Kenneth Gainwell gets his first touches in crucial moments. Like, that was like his first or second touch of the game. So he wasn't in the flow of the game yet. That would have been a moment to keep Swift on the field. Start Swift's first touches at the beginning of a drive where he can get some momentum going. It happened last week on a 4th down. They gave Gainwell's first touch of the game was on a 4th down, and he didn't convert. Like, you got to get these guys into the game flow before you use them in that kind of a moment, at least in my opinion. Belichick never played football. There's a lot of guys that haven't played football that coach. There's a lot of coaches in all sports that don't play, at least professionally. Ed Reed Blankenship was also holding onto his shoulder after that tackle in overtime. Yeah, I'm concerned. There's going to be some when you see the injury report on Wednesday's practice, there are going to be a couple names on it. And we're already thin on defense, so the defensive names concern me drastically. They do. All right, it's 9 o'clock here. You're watching Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. It is free to do it. Hit that like button. It's free to share. It's free to subscribe. Don't cost a thing. Do it. We're talking Eagles. If anybody wants to talk Sixers and the disaster this weekend for the Sixers, be my guest. Tomorrow we will touch on the Phillies because the Phillies playoffs start tomorrow, 8 o'clock against the Miami Marlins down in South Philly. Red October is here. But we're talking Philadelphia Eagles and their win over the Washington Commanders, 34-31 right there. Again, make sure you hit those like and share buttons for me no matter where you're watching. Sua wasn't complete sewer yesterday. I think he gave up one sack or one pressure. Um, he had some moments though. And when I don't see a guy's name on the offensive line, that makes me happy. I mean, he didn't play any worse than Jordan Mailata. Jordan Mailata gave up a big sack yesterday. Jordan Mailata had a big penalty yesterday. Holding, I think it was on a big play. Um, so, you know, he wasn't bad. I just don't know if you go next week, are you going to go with Sua Opeta, the experience, or are you going to go with Tyler Steen, the rookie? Be interesting. Be interesting to see what they decide to do. They probably go with Sua Opeta though. I saw that Marshawn. I thought he was lying. Um, yeah, I don't know. I did not see this. I really did not. Hopefully, it's okay. We might end up seeing Steen this season if these injuries keep coming up. Someone asked me before the game why he keeps being the inactive, and not dressing as a rookie, and it really comes down to the fact that I don't think that Steen is as flexible. They dress 4 backup linemen on game day, so they need 4 guys that can play multiple positions. Steen might only be capable of playing right guard at this point. They only might feel comfortable with him at one spot, so that's why they don't dress him yet. But if Cam Jurgens is going to miss time, he is going to dress next week. It's a matter of whether he dresses and starts or dresses and just sits on backup in case. Phil's great Dolphins coach bare knuckles fight. I'm not bare knuckle fighting anybody. Just so you know, teams are playing us off last year's team. The mesh between what we are now and what teams are defending looks weird. It'll work itself out. I think that's an interesting way to phrase it, Tyrone. Um, there will be a point where we hit it big. Look, and it's not like we didn't move the ball. I mean, we put up 34 points yesterday. Jalen Hurts threw over 300 yards. We put up over 100 total team rushing yards again. Look, I get it. It could get better, but it also but it's also just looking at it, objectively to say, look, there are things that need to be cleaned up. I'm not down on the team whatsoever. Just bringing up points of what needs to be worked on each week going forward. What are your complaints on Eagles, or were they perfect? We're not perfect. I mean, I think we've covered that massively. What else with the offense? Like I'm just reading some of the notes I wrote. I was doing a post game show for Edge of Philly Sports. Check them out. Great guys over there. I was with Al Zafiri yesterday and Alan and a few other guys. And I've done their post game shows a couple times. And as we were talking, I was writing notes down for today. And I wrote down this note. It took a while. Like at first, it takes the offense a little while each game to get humming. Last year, we were a slow first quarter team and a great second quarter team. We don't really start humming until the third quarter now. Occasionally, we get that first long drive this year. But getting the ball downfield, the big passes, the big plays, it took a while for the Eagles to get that. Do you want to see them take more chances of stretching the field and moving the ball deep and quick and big chunk plays right from the get go? Because I'd like to see that. Tyron, I thought yesterday was the best passing game of our season, and it was. I agree. Jalen is starting to digest coverages and different looks. Jalen Hurts, not only is that, we've actually in the last 2 weeks, I know I'm almost positive after week 2 I complained about this. I know I did after week 1, that Jalen wasn't looking at the middle of the field at all. He's actually looking in the middle of the field. Dallas Goedert still hasn't gotten going, although we talk about A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I know he had the one drop yesterday, Dallas Goedert, but that other catch he had where the ball floated right over the defender's head, he had a fall back catching it. Dude, that was a hell of a freaking catch from Dallas Goedert. Let's give him a prop. The guy made up for his drop on that big catch there. And that was hell of a catch. Hell of a catch yesterday from him. That's fake. Bill Belichick played Division I college football. I couldn't have told you that. Phil, you should do a Johnny Bench style golf show or continue the Pete Rose style golf show. Yeah, I'm just gonna do my golf show. I don't even know what a Johnny Bench style golf show means. Maybe I'm missing something this morning. I'm not awake yet, and I still have a half a cup of coffee. But I do a great golf show, Fairway to Heaven. Once we get back to the regular season, you'll see it popping up here on Philly Sports Network again. Um, Nobody better at handicapping golf than this guy right here. I give you great information. TMZ, my biggest complaint on the Eagles is that they don't give Jordan Davis a bigger jersey. Yeah. I was surprised. Jordan Davis on the snap counts kind of went down a little bit yesterday. Where Fletcher Cox played, Fletcher Cox played fantastic. He would be in my top 5 stars of the game. But 74% of snaps for Fletcher Cox seems a bit high when you're trying to, play a 17 to 20 game season. Jordan Davis only played 37% of the snaps yesterday, 29 snaps. Bit down percentage wise for sure. Desai has never played football on any level, high school or college. Well, I get it. I get that. I get your concern there, but it doesn't mean that's not why he's going to be a good or bad coordinator. It just it's just a part of it. Um, Marshawn, I think you may have want to dig deeper. Yeah, more surreal. Go Phillies. That's right. Suck. I mean, go Phils. Red October is here. I'm excited for Phillies baseball. I do not like the matchup with the Marlins. We're the better team. We're the more talented team. Luckily, all 3 games, if there's going to be 3, are all going to be in Philadelphia. The weather's going to be nice this week. It's going to be warm and sunny, no rain in the forecast. So I'm excited. I can't wait till Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. Sit down and watch that baseball game. I'm going to be talking about it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday on this show. It's probably going to be a 90-minute episode every single day this week. If I had a day off, I'd probably do 2 hours because there's so much Sixers talk to cover too. That I can't. You'd think we were Steelers fans in here. No, come on now. Harden is not the GOAT. Man, the Phillies, dude. It's time to ring the freaking bell, man. It really is. Tried watching the first Mets game Saturday. Dude, Phillies did not. I mean, look, it was kind of a drab at the end of the season for the Phillies. They locked it up. There was no excitement. They were just coasting to the finish line. They were. Amazing job by the Blazers to acquire young talent in Aton and Rob Williams and 5 first-round picks. And they're not done, Marshawn. They're not done with that trade. We touched on the trade a little bit. I said it was incomplete until they traded Drew Holiday. And then they traded Drew Holiday and got more picks. And they got Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon ain't staying in Portland either. Now they're going to turn around Malcolm Brogdon and trade him too for another pick. They might end up with more picks than they did before. This trade has worked out so well for what Portland is trying to do. And the Sixers, man, I'm telling you, if Joel Embiid requests a trade out of Philadelphia this week, do not be surprised. And do not crush him. I mean, this Sixers organization, Daryl Morey is sitting on his ass and can't figure out what to do with James Harden. But the James Harden situation is his own fault to begin with. James Harden's caused some problems. Like, I'm so over it. But I would not blame Joel Embiid for saying, yo, get me out of here. And if Dame Lillard got what he got, just imagine what you would get for Joel Embiid, first round pick. But you'd be starting all over again. And you don't want to do that. So, look, that the Sixers have failed us. What does the arrow say? You have failed this city. Um, the Sixers have failed us as fans. And I will not be spending money going down to a game this year unless something drastic happens. Sam, I stand corrected on the Belichick thing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not fact checking you guys. 2 more games until the Eagles' schedule gets very serious. No, yeah, in 2 games because the 2 games from now is the Dolphins. Power rankings: Eagles hop ahead of the Bengals for now. Stop, stop, stop. Did the Celtics really get that much better than last year's team? Um, yeah, I don't know. So I was worried about the Marcus Smart loss actually the most because of his leadership and his defense. Drew Holiday fixes that. Now Porzingis, I'm not a Porzingis fan. I don't think Porzingis is anything special, especially at this point in his career, but he can still shoot. He put up some buckets against us last year. But Drew Holiday is a huge addition after losing Marcus Smart, in my opinion. So yeah, yeah, I think it's still Boston and Milwaukee. The East runs through those 2 teams. The rest of it, I have no idea. Just think about it. If James Harden would just change his mind and say, "Let's play," we'd be probably the 3rd best team in the Eastern Conference. Because the East still has a lot of questions. The Heat are falling for sure. After all this, Chiefs, Bills, Dolphins, Eagles, Cowboys, Lions. The 49ers, you got way, 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 way too low. And the Bengals can't hit anybody's top 10. They looked atrocious again last week or yesterday. Um, but the 49ers and Eagles got to be in your top three because they're the only two undefeated teams. Uh, Hurts ramping up. What do we got here, Travis? What the hell happened to the number one rush offense in the league? Eagles are starting too lazy. Their asses out. Look, they're very valid frustrations, Tyrone or Travis. Very frustrating. It's very easy to be frustrated with what you saw yesterday, but we are 4-0. That's all that matters. I agree, Marshawn. I would love to see Dallas get going. What? Hold on. We want Dallas to get going. Um, that throw by Jalen to Zachuas for the third. Oh man, the thing of beauty, Marshawn. And Zachuas, it was a hard catch, concentration catch. Love it. Love to see it. I saw a lot of people tweeting out that Quez Watkins wouldn't have made that catch, but that was clutch. That was clutch. Quez Watkins is now the fourth wide receiver on this team. And I said it before. When's Britton Covey going to get his shot? On offense. He played one offensive snap yesterday. That doesn't have a catch. I don't know if ever in his career. I don't know, but Johnny Bench used to a kids baseball show about how to play and technique. Oh, well, I'm not a very good player, so I can't do that kind of a golf show. Everybody would just laugh at watching me swing a golf club if they saw it. And maybe I'll post a video today on Twitter of me swinging, but you don't want to see it, man. Trust me. Fletcher was sweating or swatting the guards like he was in his dude. It's like the fountain of youth on Fletcher Cox because he's playing with Carter and Davis now, and he's like, ah man, I got to keep up with these kiddos, and he is. Fletcher Cox is playing like as Marco remind me again, Hall of Fame talent that he's been his entire career. I just realized just the head coach of the Miami hasn't played at any level either. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what to make about him. I don't. Cannot be scared of the Marlins, especially if we think that highly. Yeah, well, they've just played us well. It's a division team. We've seen them a lot. Um, look, should the Phillies beat the Marlins in a best of three series, all games at home, without a shadow of a doubt? Will they? We'll see. I got pitching concerns. Well, if it's going to slugfest, we'll out hit them. Can our pitching just hang on and make one more big pitch than the Marlins? That's all that matters. Miami coach got wedgies by football players in high school. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Not that I support bullying. You're right, Phil. Brogdon can at least get them a first round pick. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if Daryl Morey's missed out on so many things. Daryl Morey's probably calling Portland. Well, you wouldn't trade me Drew. Will you trade me Brogdon? They still need a point guard. Now, Brogdon's an injury prone guy, too, throughout his career. So I don't know. But man, this Sixers season is shaping up to be a disaster. But still, on the other side, like one part of my brain says, we still got Joel Embiid, the reigning MVP. We still got Tyrese Maxey, budding superstar. And Tobias Harris can put up 20 points a game if his role is expanded. There's still some things to be. It's not like this team is going to be so frustrating because they're going to win like 44 games, 43 games, 45 games, and not the 55, 60 that they should. But they're still going to make the playoffs. They're still going to be a mid seed, 4, 5, 6 seed as they stand. It's kind of crazy. Phil Stream, talk a game to advertise. Like I need somebody to advertise. I was on the Edge of Philly Sports, show post game show yesterday. They had like 3 sponsored commercials in their show. I need some of these sponsors, man. Somebody send me a sponsor. What's up, Dimitri? Malcolm Brogdon would be good on the Sixers if he could stay healthy. He would improve the guard position because we really don't have a ball handler on the Sixers at all. Sixers need to trade for Tommy Fleetwood. Um, yeah, Team Europe just smoked team. Did anybody see the Ryder Cup post Ryder Cup ending? Team Europe was on a bus partying, singing, rapping, dancing, having a great time, trash talking Team USA, and that's what you don't get from the Team USA. Team USA don't care about these international competitions. Team Europe, they take it seriously. That's why they win 9 times out of 10. So annoying. Uh, Drew is also 33 years old. He gets hurt a lot now, and he had a terrible showing against the Heat. Yeah, I know, but I'm hoping big picture. Drew's still well. I'm assuming Drew is still a good player. I'm a Drew Holiday fan. I've always been a fan of him, the person and the basketball player. Him and his wife do a lot of great stuff in the community as well. So they're good people. Good people. Landon Dickerson offsides penalty was racially motivated. Yeah. Yeah, that's too much for me to get into. Tyrone meant Goddard. Where's Tyrone's comment? Which one? Dude, that's a lot of comments ago. Tyrone, I agree. I would love to see Dallas get going. Oh, okay, gotcha. Dallas Goddard get going. Oops, my bad, dude. We're rapid firing here through today. We're already at an hour and 15 minutes. We got 15 minutes more to go. We are rapid firing. I'm losing track of all the comments here. If Jets had an average quarterback, they would be really good. Zach Wilson looked good at times last night. I want to give mad props to Chris Jones from KC. I saw the video this morning. Rodney Harrison was trying to call Zach Wilson trash, which how you do that in an interview like that um, shows how disrespectful Rodney Harrison is as a media member. I mean, you should know better as a player. And Chris Jones is like, no, Zach Wilson played really good tonight. He's not trash. He proved it tonight. We got the win, but he played well. Like I really give Chris Jones credit for shooting down not once, twice. Rodney Harrison calling Zach Wilson on a telecast, post game telecast, trash. So I really give him credit and props for that. I think the commentator are tired of talking about the Cowboys. Then next week say the best in the world. Yeah, absolutely. Crash Test Covey was out there blocking for Vontae on 3rd and short. And yeah, yeah. I'm a Crash Test Covey fan. I want to see him get more involved. One more game like yesterday, and Matt Patricia should take over. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Maybe. I mean, you would think that Sean Desai would lean on him a little bit with his experience. He was a terrible head coach, Matt Patricia, but I vaguely remember him being a pretty good defensive coordinator. So you would at least think he would rely on him a little bit for a little bit of advice. Um, Phil, you have a lot of concern. I have a lot of concerns in life in general. My whole life is a big concern. So on Twitter, I could just write to any player that sucks and let them know. Yeah, you could. They might block you. I bet Nick Nurse. I don't know. That's another factor. I mean, Nick Nurse. Who knows what the Nick Nurse took Kawhi Leonard and a bunch of young or nobodies to the NBA Finals and the NBA championship. He got the most out of Pascal Siakam. That nobody knew Pascal Siakam much before that. Kawhi Leonard wins his title. Look, who knows? Crazier things have happened in Philly than this drama surrounding the Sixers than us actually finally getting over the hump and at least out of the second round. So the Nick Nurse part is something. At least we own our first round pick this year. We can't trade it though. Definitely salty. He didn't go to the Bucks. Travis, hey, none should blame Desai. He is physical, just as has a stripper in the middle. Look, look, it is what it is. Did Rory want to fight somebody? Rory wanted to fight somebody earlier in the week with the Ryder Cup. Patrick Cantley's caddy stepped right in his line when he's trying to make a putt, and they were fighting. There was some arguing and fighting. Rory McIlroy is one of the most passionate golfers out there, and even though he's not a big dude, I would not want to fight him. You get those Irish and Scottish and British dudes, those UK dudes, man, they'll go to fight. They'll fight to the last piece of triple blood. Especially after a couple pints of Guinness. The issue isn't we didn't get Drew. The issue is that your competition has made major moves. Yeah, Daryl Morey has done more trolling this offseason than Joel Embiid. Daryl Morey has done more trolling of the fan base and the players than actually improving the team. And look, I said it day one. How many years ago when Daryl Morey was hired? It was going to be a mistake. And so far, it's been a mistake. He's made a couple good moves throughout his tenure, but he hasn't done the right job. The James Harden situation as is right now, James Harden's to blame, obviously, for the childish behavior on his part. But Daryl Morey failed this city, without a doubt. Let me find out you ride around the city blasting J. Cole. Yeah, there's a lot of J. Cole talk now. That's also Mike McDonald played wide receiver at Yale. Oh, see, look, we're getting information here. We got people fact checking each other. Sixers might not even beat Portland in the regular season. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Portland's a young and up and coming team. We'll see how that goes. Zach Wilson had a really good game last night, better than Mahomes. He did, without a doubt. Is that really the best thing for players to lie to them and tell them they are good when they stink? I don't know. Patricia trying to convince the side that moving cornerbacks 5 yards from line of scrimmage counts as press coverage. Yeah, I don't know much about his coaching style, if he would be any better, but at least give him a little bit of advice. Maybe you should do this. Maybe you should try this. All I remember from Patricia is him looking dumbfounded right after the Philly special. He's a nobody protected by Belichick. I mean, There's a little bit of emotion in that statement, Marky Mark, but you might not be totally wrong there. Um, got a free agent nickel, Rob McLeod, undrafted. We need somebody. We need somebody in the slot. We do. There's no doubt. We can't go on the rest of the season with what you got already. You got a great set. You got some subwoofers in your trunk. It's still 1989. You're right, Phil. We're going to have to hope good coaching makes that much of a difference with the Sixers. Yeah, coaching's going to play a big factor in the season. You're going to need a lot out of guys like Paul Reed and DeAnthony as the team stands. Paul Reed, DeAnthony Melton, Mo Bamba, Pat Beverly. Isn't he like 40? We already had one old guy, and PJ Tucker struggled at times last year. Got another old one, and Pat Beverly. There's a lot of you're going to have to hope. But I love to an extent that training camp's opening in Colorado, in the Mile High City, to work on endurance for the first 4 or 5 days this week. I think that's a great idea to build up the stamina of this team to do what Nick Nurse wants, but also keeps the team together in an enclosed place, like they're not staying at their homes and just going to practice every day. I like that. I like that team building and camaraderie because there's going to be a lot of drama in this team. So it's going to rely heavily on Joel Embiid, his leadership, on who I've said before is a very secret leader of the Sixers team is Tobias Harris. He does not get the credit for the leadership that he provides, and he is a big leader. So coaching and leadership is going to be huge for the Sixers team. There is still talent here. Are they as talented as the Bucks and Celtics on paper? No, not even close. But if you're just gonna go on paper, then why play the regular season? So while I'm frustrated, scared, and disappointed, and worried about the Sixers team and season, still got 82 games to play. We'll see what shakes out. The James Harden, I just hope not to hear about James Harden every single day, but it will happen. Um, you you could tweet at Zach Wilson if you want. He might block you if you say something mean, but that's all there. You said the joke, trying to cheer up my fans because we ain't playing to the standard. Look. Hey, I'm joking around. We're having a good time. It's a victory Monday. You're watching Trend in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. It's 5 minutes left in the show. Going almost a full 90 minutes today. Did I cover everything on my list? I want to talk. We're going to talk tomorrow. Who's trending up and who's trending down on the Eagles? That's a topic for tomorrow. We didn't cover that. Defense was complicated. Why did I write down the words defense was complicated? I don't even know what that means. I did write down you saw a difference yesterday. So the Eagles' talent was better on the field than Washington, hence we won. But the coaching, Del Rio and Bieniemy from Washington outcoached Sean Desai and Brian Johnson. Something I wrote down there. Thought that was interesting. Talked about Hurts downhill or downfield more, not running right. I talked about Opeda. I do have my top 5 players of the game. I forget what order I wrote them in. I think it was Morrow 1, Elliott 2, Hurts 3, Brown 4, Fletcher Cox 5. I think that's what it was. It was definitely Nicholas Morrow was my number 1 player of the game. Jake Elliott, number 2 player of the game, and Jalen Hurts 3. AJ Brown, Cox rounding out my top 5. Don't worry about the Sixers. The sink is sinking, but the band is still playing. Yeah, they're playing. They're going to play their heart. It's a big year for Jalen Hurts. Really big year for Jalen Hurts. Really, really big. Or not Jalen, Joel Embiid. Sorry. Um, you know, you struggled with James. Maybe this is his year. Maybe it all comes together this year. At Zach Wilson, dear Zach Wilson, at football, you suck. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you tweet him at Matt Cheddar, he'll either ignore it or he'll block you. He will not respond to that. That is without a shadow of a doubt. But yeah, I think we'll start tomorrow with a little who's trending up, who's trending down. We'll continue this talk on the defense and the offense and the coordinators. We'll see what comes out today, information wise, from the pressers about the injuries and what we got to do. We'll continue talking about the fact that we need to add more to our secondary and whatnot. And we're going to talk a little Phillies tomorrow because the playoffs start on tomorrow night. So we'll have a little bit. We'll go 90 minutes again tomorrow. We'll probably go about an hour Eagles football, 45 minutes Eagles football, maybe 15, 20 minutes Sixers, 15, 20 minutes Phillies. Something like that. But we're going to have to cover all 3 sports for the coming weeks now that training camp's here for the Sixers. This is going to be, we can't get the power rankings. I make my power rankings on Tuesday. We discuss my power rankings on Wednesday. Can't do it sooner. But I guarantee I had the Eagles at 1, 49ers at 2 last week. They both won again this week. How can I bump them down? Maybe I flip flop them. Maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. I do have a feeling a couple teams are disappearing from my top 10 um, this week, and some new ones are going to get added to my top 10 this week. But I kind of have a feeling already where I'm going, at least in the top five, without a doubt. Is baseball finals on the TV? Yeah, Phillies are on ESPN, 8 o'clock, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So check it out. I don't believe in coaching. Look at Brady and Belichick. Brady leaves means worst team. Yeah, it's interesting, Travis. I think with 5 minutes left in the show, I don't know if I have enough time to dive into this. Coaching matters in preparation. Coaching matters in play calling. Um, but the whole Brady Belichick, who was more important to who conversation. Yeah, I mean, look, Brady succeeded. I think it's tough to use that discussion with Brady because Brady's possibly the greatest football player of all time. Tom Brady had probably the best work ethic. Love or hate Tom Brady, his work ethic was second to none. I mean, Jalen Hurts literally has that same type of work ethic and dedication to the game. And Brady having that work ethic along with the talent, it's special. Yes, normal ESPN. I believe the Phillies game is on tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Actually, 8:05, but you get it. Yeah, it's on normal ESPN. Belichick, nothing without Tom Brady. Again, it's a deep conversation to get into. Um, yes and no. I don't think Brady has the success early in his career without Belichick and the defense. And Brady got better as time went on. I mean, Brady was great, but Brady definitely carried Belichick at times. I think Belichick carried Brady at times. I think they both played a role. Obviously, Brady had more success when their partnership ended. Obviously, yeah, I don't do ESPN Plus too. I said I don't do any of the streaming services, any of them. And I refuse to pay for streaming services. I do. London games suck. Yeah, I mean, like I wanted to watch some of the London game yesterday. We didn't even look around the NFL yet. I mean, I know we got to wrap this up in the next 2 minutes. Um, Seattle, by the way, is going to beat the Giants tonight, even though they're on the road. I got the Seattle winning tonight. Detroit, well, that was Thursday night. Jacksonville winning. They didn't even look great. Buffalo smokes Miami. That Denver Chicago game, I already said it. That's my fault. Baltimore smoked Cleveland, and I had Cleveland in my top 10 because of their defense, and they just got smoked. Houston crushing Pittsburgh. Minnesota getting their first win against Carolina. The Rams coming from behind, beating the Colts. That was interesting. Tampa Bay beat the Saints. No surprise there. Baker Mayfield looked pretty solid yesterday. What else do we got here? Raiders lose to the Chargers, whatever. Cowboys smoke the Patriots, whatever. The Cardinals get smoked by the 49ers. Christian McCaffrey had a hell of a field day yesterday. And the Bengals getting smoked by the Titans. Nobody had that on their card, I don't think. So that's that. Let's wrap up these comments. The Bears are so awful. Like I said, I said it. I tweeted out, check the timeline. They were up 28-3. I tweeted out, the Bears suck, but at least they're not as bad as the Broncos. And then the Broncos came right back. Like, sucks, man. And they bench chased Claypool before the game. Healthy scratch. What a train wreck. Well, thank you for the content, Eagles, Niners, the only undefeated teams. If we went back-to-back years undefeated. Look, Travis, we're still undefeated. That's all that matters. Watson did not play. I know he didn't. But still, still is what it is. The Bears are the worst run organization in the NFL. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. The 4 p.m. games so one sided. Yeah, they were. They were really one sided. The 1 p.m. games. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. If you're watching this on replay, I greatly appreciate it. Hit the like button, the share button, drop your comments. I check all comments. And again, if you're anywhere near the Westchester area tonight, I'll be at the Barnaby's of Westchester about 5:30. There's a charity dinner. Funds raised go towards a scholarship fund for kids of fallen police officers. So it's a great charity. It's all you can eat and drink. I think it's $50 or $60 at the door. I'm part of a golf package. I'm playing golf, then going to the dinner. But maybe if you're in the area, come on out, say hello. We could talk some birds in person. Um, all you can eat and drink, door prizes, raffle prizes, baskets for up 50/50s. Typical charity thing in a bar. It's a great time. Supports a great cause. So if you're in Westchester, come on out and say hello to me. Um, if I'm not going to recognize you guys, so make sure you introduce yourself. But every beer's on open bar if you come, and you pay the $50 or $60 at the door. So that's that. Thank you very much, Travis. I appreciate you checking in all show long. I will be back tomorrow, probably at 8 a.m. again for another extended episode. I'm feeling we're going to be 90 minutes almost all week this week because we got so much on it between Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers all week long. Previews, predictions, thoughts, news, maybe. Who knows? It's going to be interesting. Cheers to you, K1. Um, I mean, yeah. Um, so I can't tonight till I get home. But yeah, beers on me. I would sack Phil from the blind side. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past you. You'd come up from behind at me at the bar and be like, just tackle me. You would. All right, trending the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. I am your host, Phil Stiefel. You guys all have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe. Like, share, follow, subscribe. Do it all. Come on, guys. Let's help this show grow. And as always, go Birds!